Hi everyone, welcome back to Drinks at Dana's. I'm here with Chris and Jess from the L Word Online, and today we're going to be talking about episode 4 of season 3 of the L Word Generation Q, titled Last to Know. And it was directed again by M. Weinstein. So we're going to get straight into the episode, I think, because there is a lot to talk about.
Or not a lot in some cases.
Yeah. A lot to say, maybe.
Yeah.
This obviously marks the first ever holiday recognition of the passage of time in the L Word. We celebrate that, but we also fall further into the timeline of despair, black hole situation.
Timeline, parallel dimension.
Yeah, alternate universes.
It's like in some universe, someone is like, I wonder what would happen to the L Word if they got rid of like Bette and Tina. In fact, let's get rid of Gigi too and see what happens. And then this is the timeline we're in right now.
I want to change timeline.
Don't worry, the other version of you in the other timeline is probably ecstatic.
Yeah, well, lucky bitch.
This opening sequence of like Sophie and Finley and Dani, I was like, a combination I didn't know I was missing. I was like, where have they been? They're so fun. I'm like, why did they create this rift between Dani and Finley? Because also I'm calling them, by the way, but I still think that like the three of them together are so fun. I would watch them. I'm like, I feel like we've been deprived of them, even though they were part of the original group of friends.
Yeah, again, it gave me last week vibes when they finally put the four of them together, and it was like, oh, we've been waiting for this for like 3 years. Like, you finally got back to it.
Yeah, they were like, it was like a fun friend group with no like weird resentments and stuff. Which also makes me feel like time has passed, because I'm like, suddenly Dani's fine with Finley, even though a week or two ago, in L Word terms, I don't know if it was a week or two ago, she was all like, no, get out of my face, I hate you. So who knows how much time has passed. I would assume more time has passed than a day or two. But yeah, maybe let's say a month between her going, I hate you, to, oh, we're besties now.
It's definitely been a month. It's just weird, because,
Yeah, again, with the timeline, I'm like, Dani feels like she got over Gigi super fast. Or she's doing that, like, protective thing of like, I don't want to think about it, so I'm just gonna like move on to someone else.
I'm here for Finley. Everyone else can,
Yeah, even Finley says, I'm the fun one of the group. I'm like, we've been missing the fun Finley. We've been having depressed alcoholic Finley, which was totally out of character, I still believe. And I'm like, I like the Finley from season 1 that like was sneaking out of that girl's bedroom and stealing a bike or whatever. I want that Finley. That was fun.
We heard that Dani's fun friend, Roxy.
Was it fun friend or bad friend?
Bad friend, sorry.
Bad friend, yes. Also, we finally get a Halloween logo L Word when it comes across.
Yeah, that was
the L Word. And I was like, oh, does the fun L Word finally begin? Like, I was like, no. Is this the beginning? Semi did. It partly did.
Yeah.
It's like, it's more lighthearted, I feel. It's less drama and like Bette and Tina, angst. There was a little bit of angst, Shane related and stuff, but I still feel like the air of it is much more fun.
Yeah, and speaking of fun, we see Alice and Joey, Taylor, still call her Joey.
Yeah, Taylor. I know, I had to look her up on IMDb because I was like, what's her name again?
I know. But yeah, see, like this whole time thing immediately tripped me up because I actually wrote down like, oh, first date, stayed over 2 days. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is definitely not their first date because it's been like...
It could be a lesbian first date.
Well, yeah. But it's only 2 days. It's not like 30 days. She hasn't actually moved in. I mean...
Well, that'll be next episode.
Yeah. The U-Haul arrives with her cat.
Yeah.
But we get fun. And I don't know about you guys, but I immediately am getting like Dana vibes.
Lots of people said that to me.
I see that, but I did like that they were more fun. They were fun.
And like friendly, and like she's like normal and down to earth and like kind of awkward, And I adore it. I'm totally here for this.
But strangely enough, while they're in their scene, I don't know if you noticed, but Jennifer Beals' name came into the credits as well as Seppi's. So I was like really confused.
I want to clear something up. I cleared this up in my video, but I was at the end, and I know people don't watch till the very end. That article that said Jennifer Beals is going to move. Jennifer Beals will never move from first position until she leaves that show. She is the star, and she will not move from first position.
We listed people who appeared in that episode, though.
Yeah.
No, not they're contracted. They have ironclad contracts. They will never move from that position.
Was she on the credits last week?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't notice.
She will remain.
I mean, like, their name should not be on there if they're not in the
Because especially Seppi as well. Why was she on there?
It's all to do with their contracts. And Jennifer Beals did say something in an interview about Leisha being number one, but I think people have misinterpreted it because, one, if Jennifer Beals is off the credits, Kate's number one. That she's ahead of Leisha in the credits. Jennifer was talking about the call sheet when they go to work, which is normally alphabetical, so Leisha's the top of the call sheet, but she will not move from those credits, mark my words. The only time she'd move from a credit is to make a statement, like with the executive producer, because she's not on that anymore, or when she leaves the show at the end of the season. Like, obviously she's not going to be out next season. The Seppi thing, however, I don't absolutely know this as a fact, but she didn't make the decision to leave, right? Seppi didn't make the decision to leave. So they have to, whenever their names are in the credit, they have to pay them too. That's the big thing. So if they're paid, they're credited, and that's all to do with the contract. And they are, I don't know why, but they are trying to hide the fact that Seppi is not in the rest of the season. No media outlets have spoken about her leaving. And I'm not some like conspiracy theorist, but those people that I know for a fact know what I know and know that she's not in the rest of the season, know that she's leaving. And I've heard these people basically saying, oh yeah, like I hope she's back, and because they have incentive from Showtime, be it like interviews, money, because if they get cut off from that, if they say something Showtime doesn't like and they cut them off from interviews or sponsorship or whatever it is, so there's a reason that the only people talking about Seppi leaving are people like us who have no, like, we didn't even take the episodes from Showtime this year because we didn't want to be under embargo.
And given nothing. We got nothing. So, we got nothing to lose.
Yeah. And look at us. We're all in our own houses with mics we got off Amazon. So there's no shilling going on here. But I just find this whole thing incredibly, incredibly weird that there's not been a press release that what are they going to do? By episode 7, they just expect everyone to be like, oh, she might be back.
Yeah.
I just think that the only thing is that they're trying to stop that double blow of like Jennifer Beals leaves in episode 2, Seppi leaves in episode 3, and they're trying to like bury their head in the sand or something because people are noticing. Like, they're gonna notice that she's not in the episode. So I really don't know what their move is from here.
Yeah. And considering later there's that earring bit, I was like, oh, that's strange. I thought they would just completely try and ignore her altogether, so that them bringing her up again was like, oh, all right then, let's see what you're getting
to show, like, oh, I'm not over my ex, but oh, here's this possibility with this other
Roxy.
person, and to kind of be like, oh, maybe I could be over here, like, here, let me like do some healing on screen. But
yeah but I don't think Roxy's in it very long, is she?
I think she comes back though, because I saw an interview with the actor who played her, and she was talking about meeting Jennifer Beals. But the only thing I will say is that because they normally film 2 episodes at once, they were probably filming 2 and 3, and they might have done the table read for episode 4, and she would have been on set for that. Because like when I was there, they were doing 8 and 9, but the table read for 10. So she could have just met her in passing, but I think I've seen a picture or something. I do think she comes back at some stage. Maybe she comes back at the very end.
The Tess and Shane scene.
I don't know why they're turning Tess into like such a bitch.
Well, we know why. It's so that Shane is justified in cheating.
Again, it's lazy writing. Like, what's the easiest way to get from point A to point B?
Yeah.
But in that first scene at Shane's house, I was like, what pants is she wearing? It's like, Shane, what's happening with your wardrobe? Shane used to always dress really well, minus episode 1 of season 1, but it was those pants were just like weird. I was like, and Tess is being so dismissive of like Shane. I was like, I felt really bad for Shane. I was like, oh, go cheat.
God, when I was watching the episode and that was happening, that's why I was like, this is why I don't want to be married or anything like that, because I see so many people have relationships like that are just fucking miserable. All they do is complain about the relationship. And I'm like, why are you still in this relationship? Like, why would you want to live that life? Like, she goes and cheats. Just break. If you don't want to live this life, just break up.
It's a lack of respect for your partner. I mean, on from both sides, but like for Tess to just kind of ignore Shane and get that you have stuff going on, but you know, it takes 2 seconds to make eye contact with someone or to give them a goodbye or say I love you, have a nice day, whatever. Instead, Shane's gonna touch base later, which is like something you do with your boss or whatever.
And as well, like you said, you know, it is on both sides of to take out the cheating for a second. But I know that people can have their moments and, you know, they're having a bad day or whatever, but this seems to be like a consistent pattern. And for someone who has completely transformed their life, like Shane was beholden to no one, like single, free, has money, had the bar, everything, like had a really good life. And I don't know, but having someone's elderly, severely sick mother move in, like changes your whole life. So you'd think that, like, if anything, Tess would be a bit more like, you know.
And it's just such a weird situation. And it doesn't seem like the Tess that we got to know initially, who was like all about, I'm going to make time for you. I'm going to make this connection, you know, like sincerity. And this Tess just does not seem like her at all.
So to move on to everybody's Halloween costumes, why was everyone's costumes fucking shit?
It was shit.
All
they were all
terrible.
Horrible. I couldn't even tell what most of them were.
No.
Well, I mean, Dani just had little ears on, that's it, and a tail.
I can totally
I mean, that's, you know, sexy Halloween outfit that everybody does.
Yeah, and they're making fun of Sophie's costume, and it's like, bitch, who are you? I don't know what you are.
I know, and she like sewed the little what were they, stuffed cats or whatever onto her. And then when they were just ripping it off and throwing it away, I was like, come on, she put a lot of time and effort into that.
Yeah, but I totally agree. It's a lame.
And do you know how expensive those yellow rain jackets are? They just ripped the sleeves off, and I was like, oh my god, I would be mortified. Like, probably like a good $100 jacket.
I do not know why that, like, you have one episode that's like a holiday episode, Halloween. Hello, like, gays, Halloween. They've obviously picked Halloween too because it's a, you know, non-denominational holiday, and it's a fun holiday. You could have had so much fun with these outfits. Like, if you would have had a tiniest look into what people talk about the show, like you could have dressed Ari or Dani up as like the Tomb Raider, like everybody's always fan casting her as that. Like, oh, they were so shit.
One outfit that I was like, oh my god, good job, Elwood, great job. It was Angie as Pam Greer's Foxy Brown.
That was the only good one.
Great job.
That was the only good one.
Going slightly meta there, Elwood.
That's what I said in my video too. The only good one was Angie, and the rest were absolute crap. They could have M. Weinstein directed this episode, who was in the writer's room for A League of Their Own. Like, they should have, and they knew by that
one League of Their Own outfit in the background at the party, and I was like, sweet.
Felt like I just got invited to a Halloween party. That's
I've got nothing to wear.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sew some cats onto my raincoat.
Yeah. And I know maybe there was, like, you probably couldn't have someone show up as like Captain Marvel or something because of copyright, but there's way better things you could have done. Way better. Do you know what's so funny? This is maybe a little shout out to the Twitter stans. When they released the pictures for this episode, they came out with, like, you could see everybody's costume, and there was a picture of Tess's mom with the Dolly Parton wig on, and everybody was like, oh my god, Holland Taylor's back. I was like, white women are not the same. It's just so funny. I was like, what is happening?
And then another thing with, like, the timeline again was where I was like, what's happening was Angie and the teacher guy, where I'm like, I've written down, I'm like, are they a thing now? Because it seemed like time had passed, and because the last we saw, they were all like weird and like, oh, okay, I'm not sure what's happening.
Yeah.
That was the
fast
forward to today.
Forward a month. Yeah. That was the other strong clue, because it's like they're solidly in a relationship.
Yeah.
But it totally throws you off when you're like, oh, previously on the L Word, and they show you like what just happened, and then
Yeah.
Best if they just took out the previously altogether.
Yeah, because they also show us like Gigi and Bette and Tina, and I'm like, I want to go back to previously. I don't want to be here now. Angie's costume was good, but I hate everything else about this storyline.
I don't like the dude.
I hate it.
I weirdly started liking it by the end, and I think that was just because of Angie and her being kind of like
excited
adorable and them having fun. But at the very beginning, I wrote down sneaking around with the professor, and I'm like, ick. Did we meet her roommate before? Angie's roommate?
No.
Okay.
No, I had to pause it and be like, what are the two names on the door? Because it said Angie and Bella on the door.
And I was like, ran in for a second. I thought it was Jordy. I was like, what's happening?
I know. I was like, who is this girl? And then she was like, Bella. I'm like, oh, she's the one on the door. Okay. It'd be nice to have an introduction scene, first of all, before just like springing her on us.
We're just getting all this news. I'm like, okay, here's her roommate. Her roommate's an actor. Okay.
I know. Bella's probably going to fall into the timeline black hole anyway.
Yeah. We won't see her again.
No.
Yeah,
she's gone.
She was like a useful plot device for one episode.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Miss G.
Hi. Miss G has made an appearance. or one tail.
She's come in to say she is not happy with...
She's coming to say I'm half asleep.
Said I'm not getting up for no Bette and Tina and Gigi, so she stayed in bed. I was just going to say, yeah, you can sit here. There is a scene apparently coming up where Bette and Tina find out about the professor. G's causing chaos because she's so angry about the episode.
She's not right, walking across the keyboard with just letters going.
And Tina apparently has like
in the episode or on the phone?
Yeah, obviously it's later.
Oh, okay.
And Tina has like a bit of a head-to-head with Angie because I guess Bette really can't say shit about professor and student relationships.
Okay, yeah. Although that doesn't really track with me though with their personalities. I would have thought Tina would have been like the okay
cool one,
and Bette would have been like yelling and storming her way to campus to chew out this guy or something.
I could see both of them being pissed.
That has changed now. She went to a silent retreat. She's all calm now. So this episode we get one of the OG special guest stars back. What do we think of?
My favorite bit of the episode, I think, was Max coming back. And
surprisingly, me too. Yeah.
My only complaint is that I actually wish there was. I wish they didn't waste bringing an OG back, talking to cast members that did. Do you know what I mean? Like, I understand the importance of having him talk to Micah and all that stuff, but I wish there would have been like more than 2 seconds with Shane, and also I would have liked Alice or some sort of reference to everybody. And I also think
I would have liked him to be like, oh, are you still with Carmen? Where's Carmen?
Oh.
He knows she's not with Carmen. Max was in the season 6 finale.
Yeah, but they could have got back together since then. They don't know.
God.
It would have just been a nice throwback to Carmen. It's like they've just erased
Carmen was a bitch to him, so he's not going to talk about Carmen.
Yeah, it's like I was totally fine with it. Like Jenny and Shane would be the only people he would talk about, I think. It's really the only people that Max had any.
I think if there was no real world implications, they would have said something about Jenny. But I feel as though because of what happened when they last talked about Jenny on the show, that they're too scared to say anything.
They don't want to say the J word anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it also would be kind of weird to just like bring up your dead friend when you're like, hi, how are you? Are you in a relationship? Remember our dead friend? Like,
yeah.
But I kind of wish that I didn't know spoilers, because I kind of wish I didn't know Max was coming back. I would have been
surprised
to see, knowing that Micah and Maribel are going to this party to meet this couple, and all of a sudden Max walks down the stairs.
Yeah, they didn't hide it well. I figured that out like 5 months ago. He's coming back because he kept liking people's Instagrams.
Yeah. Well, it's weird that like supposedly Max lives, I guess, nearby since they went over to the party, and has not shown up in anyone's life. And the fact that, he's bumping into Shane in the bar, of which you assume they would frequent, and they've
Why
never
would
bumped
you
in.
frequent a bar?
I mean, LA's a big place too.
Because
That's true, but I guess
Micah invited Max there.
Yeah, I'm sure Micah said, let's go to Dana's. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously, my
But
friends
wouldn't you
with
be
kids
like,
have not
oh
been to a
yeah,
bar in, like,
Dana's?
10 years.
I knew Dana. Like, wait, did Max know Dana?
Yeah,
Max? Yeah, Max
yeah.
still knew. Yeah.
But like, if I went into a bar that, like, Dana's not like a weird name. Like, if it was a bar like Dana Fairbanks, then yeah. But I feel like if I went into a bar that was called Chris's, I wouldn't be like, oh, I wonder if this is with Chris.
Yeah, I don't think
Fine.
Shane and Allison that are like on Facebook sharing like, hey, we just bought a bar and things at Dana's. And Max is like their Facebook friend going like, oh look, this is what they've been up to.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing now the three, like, bet on Facebook,
Fake Facebook pages for them and interact as the characters.
sharing like that picture of the three of them. And you just imagine, now I'm just picturing like they share it on Facebook and like Max just looking at it like, I know. I need to think of more funny stuff like that. God, yesterday I was making missing MILF posters on my Instagram.
However, I think Max said one of the most like smartest, most logical things of any Elwood character that's ever been in existence when he asked Maribel and Micah, like, "Are you two in therapy?"
Yes.
Like, yes, finally
I know,
someone's got
like,
some fucking sense.
I
And they
thought
both
the
sort of
same
sat
thing.
there like, well, I am.
dare
And
you.
I'm also a therapist. But Maribel was like shocked and like, oh no, why would I do that? Like, it's the same thing you've been saying all along, Ash. Is like, they all need
Yeah.
therapy.
He didn't just
Yeah.
ask, he like suggested that like you should
Yeah.
get therapy.
No, he
Like,
asked. He said, "Are
Yes.
you two in therapy?"
Yeah, Micah was like in serious mode in this episode, but like I actually liked my. It's like, oh, is this what we needed to actually like Micah, like Max on here, and you know, someone to actually have a meaningful conversation with that's not
Yeah.
completely pointless.
Yeah.
However, when he finally did get to ask the questions, I was like, "Wow,
Oh,
this
fuck
was the
me.
question! Like,
Oh, I
how do
know,
you
like-
change how do you know when to change a diaper?" I was
I
like, "You
know.
could easily Google that, like Maribel said." Like,
Yeah,
because
that
he's
was
all like, "No, you can't
thing
Google these
ever.
questions, these trans-specific questions." And then he asks, "How do you change a diaper?" Or how do you know when to change a diaper? I'm like,
Yeah.
really? I mean, like, you could have asked anything trans-related and parenting, and that's what you asked.
That was the moment that I was like, fuck this episode. Yeah, I really, I know that was just like one line, but I really hated that moment.
Noticeable if he hadn't made such a fuss up to that point about how his questions are so important, and then he finally
Yeah.
gets to the question, and it's like, oh, come on.
I know, especially because Max has like an old, like, what would Max's kid be now? Like, teenager, 15 or something? Was it 2000? It would have been born 2009. No, like 14. So like they've gone through, they're in high school, like they've gone through all that like parenting and teenage stuff and explaining things to kids, and but so that's like the perfect situation to be able to ask things that like you're not going to be able to ask other people, or it's not going to be Googleable.
For me, like, Maribel and Micah are just feeling like zero chemistry between them as a couple.
Yeah, no, I don't see
Like,
it
they
at
were
all.
kissing and stuff, and I was like, nope, don't feel, no, that they could just be friends. Like, I don't feel
Yeah.
like. And then now they're talking about like serious stuff, like having a baby. I'm like,
Right.
like if the Elwood was to continue, say, for another 5 years, let's, knock on wood or whatever. Imagine 5 years from now, like, and their storyline is basically all about just raising kids. I'm like,
I could honestly see Micah going through with becoming a parent and Maribel like bailing.
yeah, exactly.
After-
Well, you could see
No, I
that
mean,
that
after being
party.
confronted about like her father and stuff.
Well, yeah,
and her- yeah. It's like if you're that closed off, like you can't acknowledge your emotions with your partner, you can't have this conversation. Like, how are you? Like, that's not a healthy environment to raise a child.
No,
Mm.
but like, yeah, she was the one that wanted the baby and was the one that was most freaked out. It
Yeah.
was like, I need to go because these people are asking about my issues.
Right. And Sophie again called her out for being mean to Micah.
I said this in my video, but I just could not care less about this storyline. Like,
Oh, yeah,
I
me neither.
really couldn't. I hate the kid storyline. Like, I feel like it's something shows do in like their 6th season when they've run out of ideas. They have nothing for these characters. They have nothing for these characters, and I don't know why you continue to have them there when they're not they don't interact with other characters. What has their storyline been this season outside of a kid? Absolutely nothing. Micah was in one scene last episode. I don't even see, I'm sure there's people that, are interested, but I just don't see them. Like, there's no one who comes and says, because I really don't talk about them, and there's no one who comes and says that they want to hear about these characters and some of the other characters. And it just creates, I feel, this tick box thing where that's all they're interested in is checking boxes. They're not writing good stories. It's just like nothing. Like, it's so incredibly frustrating, because they could have really had it all if they just were willing to like calm their egos down a bit. Like, they're so insecure about the original show that they like have to do things like this and be like, oh well, we're better than the original show because look at all these boxes we've ticked.
Yeah,
look
and
how much
like,
better we treat the trans person, the trans actor, or the trans character, than, oh look, this is the way that Max was treated, and they had to actually have Shane apologize on behalf of the entire L Word show of how they behaved towards him back then.
But what they really should be doing is writing a good storyline for the trans character now, instead of just being like, look, we have someone.
I know, they just parade him out and then nothing happens. And they'll be like, but we have him, just like, no one really wants to watch it. Yeah, exactly.
That people would be like I said, my favorite part of this episode was Max coming back. I thought that it was interesting, but I do not find this baby thing interesting at all.
I mean, the one intriguing thing with Micah was that one random sort of date.
Oh yes,
with the
co-worker.
Isis, is that her name?
Isis, yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
I actually felt chemistry between the two of them.
Yeah, they did have chemistry.
And I liked Micah at work. Like,
Micah.
Having younger trans children, teens, whatever, on the show
to mentor,
helping. Yeah. I mean, especially right now in our freaking climate in the US of all these like trans hate bills and stuff like that. Like, it would be so timely to, be dealing with teenagers that have issues and have Micah actually say something that's, pertinent to the community.
Yeah.
It's like the whole goal of the L Word seems to be like, oh, what romantic relationships are we going to have? And then we break everyone off into like 2 character scenes. I mean, we've already said multiple times, like, oh, we like when like everyone's together. You can be in a romantic relationship, but still have a scene with more than one person at a time.
Yeah.
It's like this episode. Like, this episode was a Halloween episode. It was it could have been so fun, but they had
gone to the same party.
They had half the characters at home, not doing anything, separated. Like, Alice and Shane didn't even interact this episode. They already have 2 episodes where they know Alice and Shane can't interact because Leisha's not in one and Kate's not in one. And you're already fucked because you already don't have Gigi for 7 episodes and Bette and Tina for 6 episodes. So your priority should be the 2 people that everybody is connected to, 90% of people are connected to and want to see. And so now you have at least 3 episodes that they're not even interacting. God knows what next week's going to bring.
Yeah, that's right. We didn't even get a Shane and Alice scene this week, did we?
Alice didn't leave her house.
She was at the house. Yeah.
So the only sort of group-ish thing that we do get is we're at Dana's for a lame Halloween party.
Yeah, all this build up about the fun friend and the hot outfits, and then we get like raincoats and like
nothing.
In the bathroom for 5 minutes.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why Finley's so invested in Shane. Like, she's all like, I trusted you. I'm like, she didn't cheat on you.
Like the
I don't get she looks up to her, but like she has such a moment that I was like, what's happening right now?
Good on her.
And she's like, I don't even know who you are anymore. I'm like, Shane's always been the same. You could like set a watch by the way that Shane is. So
not since Finley's known her.
Yeah. I mean, she's only really experienced.
Been in a relationship for a year.
Yeah. But Finley also hasn't been like, I'm assuming she didn't see them when she was in rehab. She probably saw the start of their relationship when it was really good, and then now.
What did you guys think of when Dani was hooking up with Roxy? I was like, yeah, I was like, for a second, I was like, ooh. And then as soon as they kissed, I was like, nope, shut it down. Like, no. I was
just
like,
was
Gigi.
thinking, I just was thinking I miss Gigi.
I'm glad that she found that. She was like, oh, look at this thing that pricked me. It's Gigi. It's the ghost of Gigi.
Yeah, but it's so lesbian to make out and then talk about your exes and then cry.
And then cry.
Like, that was the gayest scene I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how that scene would have played if the original person played them that you found out about, Chris.
Oh, should we say who it is?
Yeah, well, I've already said it on my video.
Oh yeah, like Demi Lovato. That would have been quite hot. I was going to say, I think I would have approved.
Yeah, Demi Lovato was supposed to play Roxy, but I wonder what happened.
Yeah, same. But also, wasn't there supposed to be a Spice Girls scene in this bit?
Yeah, that's what I said in my video. I think when it wasn't Demi Lovato,
yeah,
they didn't
but
want to
also
pay the price.
Yeah, exactly, the money for this song Wannabe.
But that's what I mean. When it wasn't Demi Lovato, they were probably like, "Ooh, is it really worth 50K?"
Oh, what was with the whole Alice and Taylor, and then they hear the noise? I was
like the movie Scream.
I know, but it wasn't scary enough. B, they were overreacting. C, why her contacts are bothering her? Why doesn't she just take them out? And then also she comes back in after she screams outside with like a stuffed pumpkin head that's like a plush toy. What was making the banging sound?
Yeah, I didn't get that either.
Didn't we see someone like running? I don't know. I thought it was going to be like
somebody like hung
teenagers or something.
Yeah, because the banging was consistent for a while, considering they were sitting on the floor trying to call 911.
Yeah, that was very ridiculous.
Okay, so our last scene is obviously Shane and Ivy saying goodbye. I mean, we knew this was going to be Kehlani's last episode, so I was expecting her to go after this episode. But obviously, just a few seconds too late.
I did not know that because I have not kept up with that, but I was glad to see Shane kind of giving her the boot. But she doesn't until Finley yells at her and says how disappointed she is in her.
Yeah, and then it's just a boot a few seconds too late because Tess...
It's always when the relationships are ending is when they get busted.
Yeah.
Even though they made us think they had a couple other fake outs in previous episodes where I thought Tess was going to walk in on them. And
this
time
I thought she was going to come walk in and bust in on them when she was going, and like when the whole scene with Tess and her mom in bed, and then she was like, get out, and so she left. Right. I thought, she's for sure going to the bar to be with Shane. I thought she would bust them. The fact that she just overheard the end of it, I'm like, oh. But it's weird that she says, Shane says to Ivy, this meant a lot for me. Like, did it? Like, why so?
Well, because she said that she had a kid, and this is her first time.
Well, I'm wondering if it was Shane said it meant a lot to her.
Oh, I think.
Yeah, and so I'm thinking maybe Shane realized that she needs to break up with Tess. And
probably.
That was when she was turning around to maybe go do that.
I don't think so. I think it was more like Ivy kept trying to take Shane back to like, remember who you used to be. Remember
maybe the whole hairdressing thing.
Yeah, she said it was like
because maybe the next episode she's going to be a hairdresser all of a sudden.
Well, I mean, because with Shane taking the step to break up with her, for lack of a better word, after Finley kind of screams some sense into her and tells her what a great person Tess is, it seemed like Shane was breaking it off so she can like fix her relationship with Tess.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, Tess throws the water on Shane, which again we saw in the trailer, so we knew it was coming because it's a Halloween episode.
All the key scenes were in that trailer.
Yeah, literally, like everything.
You could have played the entire season from that trailer.
I think what's gonna happen is that they're gonna because we see them in the trailer for next episode, like having a deep conversation, and I'm guessing like that something happens to her mom maybe in a few episodes down the road. And so anyway, that's the way the episode ends. I don't think anyone is too passionate about the Tess and Shane relationship anymore. I haven't seen anyone talking about it. But speaking about talking about things, the reaction to this episode.
Inform us,
Lord.
Ash.
So we're recording this on Saturday morning UK time. We started at like 6 a.m., which is midnight US Central Time, 1 a.m. Eastern Time, like 10 a.m. Pacific, and Australia it's 5, is it? Yeah. So yeah, Friday night US. So I obviously watched the episode when it came out at 5 a.m. UK, midnight US, and watched it, did my usual thing. I watch it again and pull all my clips in the second one, and then I put together my video. It takes me a good couple of hours to like edit it and film it and everything. And in that time, I don't usually go on social media because, one, I'm working on the video, but I don't like to go on social media while the episode's airing because I don't like anyone else's opinion to kind of cloud mine. So I try and get my opinion on my video, and then I'll go and like check out what everybody's saying. And obviously, like, I get lots of messages and comments, and then when I put the video up, like, you know, I get comments about the episode. And it's very strange because although this episode was by far the least liked, very poorly received, no Bette, no Tina, no Gigi, my video's doing really well. So I think so many people don't want to watch the episode but they want to know what happened. So I'd like to thank everyone who drove the L word into the ground for the success of my channel.
They've drove them out of the L word arms into your
So thank you for that.
bosom.
And so thanks for that. But oh my god, like the comments, the everything, Instagram messages, brutal. And I figured something like this would happen with the absence of Bette, Tina, and Gigi. Like, that is most people's favorite people. That's where, like, you know, most of the internet sort of interaction happens around, that I see anyway. And I like I said, I have like 1 million people a week a million people a month that are coming through my channel. That's a lot of L word people. And I just think, like, people did not like this episode, like, is putting it lightly. And I just don't know where they go from here, because I mean, they keep telling me episode 6 is going to be great, but next week's episode, there's not one damn thing in that trailer that makes me excited. And I think it's incredibly sad that, even just using myself as an example, like, I talk about this show, I'm not even exaggerating, like 50 hours a week, like, especially now when it's on, like, I am doing something for it every day, constantly. Like, I put so much of my life into it because I really do, like, love the show despite all its flaws and everything. And you're turning me away from the show to the point that if I didn't have this channel, I probably really would be like, oh, I'm gonna tune in maybe if I catch it, and then for 9 and 10 obviously. And that's like really sad that I just don't even know, like, what they're doing, because even the decisions, like, if you didn't have Bette, Tina, and Gigi, I mean, the fact that those 3 people too have been pushed to the point of, like, leaving the show is obviously showing that things are bad. But, and then Leisha and Kate this week on their podcast too, like, basically were like, we were professionals, we did our job. And it's like, that obviously they knew what was coming. And
yeah, they're trying to keep out of it. Like, oh, well, yeah, we did it. We did what we were told. Like, everything else has gone to shit, but we did what we were told.
Which is totally reminiscent of the OG L word.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I always picture just like Kate and Leisha standing on the iceberg while everything around them is on fire, melting, and they're just like standing there like, well, at least we're safe. We're okay. But the whole show is going down and melting. But they're like, they were fine.
It must be incredibly hard to make a show like this and to, you know, hear these things about it and stuff. But and I mean, this maybe sounds like a little bit, you know, but like all those people are very, very heavily compensated. So a lot of, even like you think about like Hollywood people or royal family or whatever it is, like that's kind of the price you pay for like money and fame, is that, you know, people are going to put their opinions out and all of that. I guess I just feel like frustrated, but also they really, really could have had it all. And that's more where my annoyance lies, in the sense that I think that this show is being driven into the ground because they are so insecure about the original. And instead of just like taking the piss about a little bit and leaning into it, like people, you were going to have people there for the L Word, but they wanted people there for the Generation Q. And you could have got that. You could have used these 3 years instead of just like throwing all of the Gen Q people in and being like, care about these people. Like you could have done all the Bette, Alice, Tina, Shane, brought people in from the past and done things in the right way. But instead, I mean, honestly, go back and look at season 1. None of it makes any, like, it doesn't matter now. Like the storylines in there went nowhere. There was so much stuff, like all that mayoral stuff, and like, what wasted fucking time. And season 2, from the premiere to the finale, nothing happens apart from the Bette and Gigi sex scene that has 25 million views on YouTube. Nothing else was accomplished in that season other than the cliffhanger was what everybody talked about, everybody cared about, because it was just this mismatch of like couples that nobody cared about, people are like given character development that nobody cared about, and the people that we want to see and hear from, it's like they like dangle stuff in front of us, and
that
then
has been the history of the entire L Word.
Yes, and I feel like Chris and I said that about the original L Word all the time, and everyone's like, "It's the best show ever." We're like, "Really?"
Yeah,
because
but that was because no one else had a choice. There was no other show to watch.
Yeah.
That was the only lesbian show. But now people have other choices of other lesbian content to watch, and they just tune out and leave.
Yeah.
Whereas back then they were like, "No, it's great," and we're like, what about all these issues? Yeah, this story's shit. And again, they could have had it all. They could have done it properly. Like I remember back in the day when we would get actual scripts of when they were still casting people and things like that, and we'd read them and go, oh my god, this is going to be the best episode ever, like this is so funny and everything in it is great. If they just left it exactly how it was written in the script, but someone's come along and butchered the entire thing and took out everything that was good about it, and that's what went to air. And we were always so disappointed because we were like, what happened to all the best bits? They took them out. It's the same now. I wonder if the scripts originally were like fun and everything was cool in it, and then someone's come along and gone, no.
I actually think the opposite is going on, because again, like, I'm not there. Like, people tell me things, and I'm sure most people would agree that, especially this season, like, I've been pretty on point with what I've said is coming. And so, like, I trust these people that tell me things, but apparently when they've gone into this season, a lot of the scripts, like, weren't even finished, and things were being, like, pieced together. And I know that there's a lot of stuff that, like I was saying before we started recording, the Bette and Tina stuff in episode 2, like in the house, the sex scene, that was like come up with on the day because everybody else had COVID and they didn't want to lose the shooting day. But I feel as though I would never say this about another TV show, because I just don't, like, other TV shows, the actor turns up, reads their lines, that's it. And the L Word now, that Generation Q, with the Bette and Tina stuff, is very different because of the actors advocating for it, that they made this on screen what we see is a lot. They've had a heavy hand in it. I just think that is also saying something, that the thing that people have connected with this season and care about is that. This episode, I was bored, and if I wasn't making my video, I probably would have like switched off. And I also am frustrated because I feel as though I'm seeing everyone online like saying this, like you go through, and of course like everybody in a sense creates their own echo chamber within social media. You interact with people you like, people you're friends with, and of course there's people who come to my channel and say, I don't agree with anything you say, and that's cool, like come in, like I want to hear your opinion. But the majority of people are saying to me the same things about this episode that we've talked throughout this episode about. And I just think that if you have all these people saying that and all these people feeling that way, I feel as though they're hiding and, you know, just putting their head in the sand. And then to have other outlets that have more control, like they aren't giving interviews, they aren't going on any platforms. As I've told you, a lot of people that I thought were going to come and speak on the channel, on the podcast, whatever, have rescinded those now because they don't want backlash. They don't want to be held accountable. They don't want to be in any way like, you know, taken down or even just asked. Or like, obviously I would never like, you know, attack anyone or anything, but I would say like, what the fuck is going on with this? And then the other whatever it is, magazines or websites or podcasts, and because they have a relationship with Showtime, they're not going to fuck up that relationship with Showtime, so they won't talk about it. It's like the Seppi thing, like she's gone, she's left the show, and no one has said anything because they have monetary investment from Showtime. They have interviews, they have all these things that Showtime has this control. So all of that together just to say that I feel as though everybody is screaming this stuff at them, but they've like closed the door and locked themselves in a soundproof room.
It's the whole like, I can't hear you, la 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 la.
Yeah.
Blocking the ears. But they've always been like that. They never wanted any outside help or input or anything. Like we would feedback. They don't want that. They're like, no, we're doing it this way. It's like, but if you just didn't, they're like, nope. They don't want to listen. Well, they brought about their own downfall. It's on them.
They sure did.
I'll be very surprised if they get a season 4.
Yeah, I would be shocked. The only thing I could ever like imagine is if there was this article that came out yesterday or the day before yesterday about Paramount basically saying like they want to do these like franchises, and they were talking about like Dexter and is it Yellowstone has like another show too, and they mentioned Generation Q in it.
You mean like a spin-off of it or a continuation?
No, just like the fact that it's an L word. Like there's the L word and there's Generation Q. Like there's something that exists outside the L word. And so this article was talking about that. And so I think the only chance is if after seeing all this, they made some, and I mean, they've done this every season. They've changed writers, they've made sweeping changes, but this time I think they would make, there's a tiny percent that's like, okay, new changes, and they would go and film the show in Vancouver, so it was a lot less expensive. They've lost 2 big leads, and Jennifer Beals is an executive producer, so that's saving a big
chunk of money.
You know, yeah. And I think that they would go and they would probably try and do
something completely different in like a new direction with like newbies and stuff, and maybe bring even another new character or something in.
It almost feels like they have like a lasagna they dropped and they tried to like fix it back together, and that's most of the season. But then they were like, they're putting like the whipped cream on top and being like, but Bette and Tina
go.
No, they're like, Bette and Tina are back in the end, keep watching.
Yeah,
they're like dangling it in so that people stay, because if we knew for a fact that Bette and Tina were gone, I reckon this whole season would just be like
Oh.
down. It would be like dead.
Yeah.
Whereas now they're like kind of hanging, like they're kind of like dangling them at the end. Like wait for the end.
That's the thing. In this week's episode of Pants, Leisha and Kate were like, "Oh, it's confirmed that Jennifer and Laurel are coming back for 9 and 10." But no, the only person who talks about them coming back for 9 and 10 is fucking me.
Yeah,
And
you've been saying it all along.
yeah, now people believe me.
Apparently it's
And,
confirmed.
yeah, apparently it's confirmed now. But so that's the thing. Like, that was the whole point. I knew this would happen. That's why I was like, they're coming back. They're coming back. But the thing is, they're coming back for 2 episodes, and then they are fucking off. So
Gone.
what are they gonna do then?
But they're lucky they've had you saying they're coming back, because if people hadn't known they're coming back, they might have assumed they're gone.
If Showtime had it their way, people would be going like, oh, are they coming back? But I mean,
Kind of like with Seppi.
yeah, that's why they're not saying anything.
Yeah, because they want
They
people
want
to think
people to
they,
put
yeah.
that
off. They
want people to tune in next week to be like, maybe she's in this episode. Wait, maybe
Yeah.
she's in this episode.
Yeah, because she was mentioned.
And
Sorry
all
to
you're gonna
break everyone's-
do
yeah.
is piss people off.
Sorry to break everyone's heart, but Seppi is gone, much to our demise. Demise, is that the word?
Gone. Dismay.
No, dismay. That's the word I'm looking for. Much to our dismay, she's gone.
She's gone.
Isn't she cast in a new show as well?
Yeah.
So that's how you know she's really gone.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, I know that there's other people who are trying to say, like, oh, I heard someone say, like, oh, it's because she was on Blackbird. And it's like, are you kidding me? That was, like, filmed and came out before that was out when they were filming. And
I read a lot of people in the comments saying, oh, because Seppi quit. And I'm like, she did not quit. Like,
yeah. No, she'll be super successful, and
oh yeah, she's one of those
already
stars.
Booked and busy, and yeah, she will be missed though. She will be missed by me.
She should be on a hot doctor show. Maybe she'll join your Grey's Anatomy.
Oh,
yeah,
Grey's Anatomy as a lesbian doctor.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right?
I
I
would
can
tune in.
totally see that.
I don't even like Grey's Anatomy, but I would watch it for that.
I mean, I haven't watched it in like 13 years, but I mean,
like, is it still
Get
even
back
on?
into
God.
it. Yeah. Oh, it's another one. It's losing Meredith Grey now, so they're in the same boat as the L Word.
See,
Well,
they need her. See,
it's probably where Jennifer Beals is off to. She's going to be in Grey's Anatomy all of a sudden. Now this is going to turn into a Grey's Anatomy podcast.
and Ash's 2 worlds come together.
Yeah. And my plan finally comes to fruition. Well, that's the episode. We'll be back next week because we will watch the episode for you. Thank you so much for watching and listening. You can watch the video version on YouTube, or you can listen on Apple and Spotify and other podcasting services. You can follow Drinks at Dana on Instagram, and all of us individually. Our @s are all listed in the show notes, along with my YouTube channel where you can watch the video version, and Chris and Jess's site, The L Word Online. We'll be back next week for episode 5. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great week, and we'll see you next weekend. Bye.
Bye.